Hello everyone and welcome to ACE Humanities. Today we'll be concluding the chapter on the Cold War. Before concluding, we need to cover two topics, that is challenge to bipolarity and India and the Cold War. In the challenge to bipolarity, first we need to understand that after the Second World War, there was an emergence of newly independent states in Asia, Africa and Latin America. These were collectively known as the Third World States. ये देश हाल ही में आज़ाद हुए थे और वो नहीं चाहते थे किसी भी मिलिट्री ब्लॉक और अलायंस को ज्वाइन करना और किसी और कंट्री पे फिर से डिपेंडेंट होना. सो दे डिसाइडेड टू परस्यू द पाथ ऑफ नॉन अलाइनमेंट फॉर अ न्यू इंटरनेशनल ऑर्डर एंड दैट वाज बेस्ड ऑन इक्वालिटी एंड म्यूचुअल कोएग्जिस्टेंस. Foremost in this was the non-aligned movement or NAM. Non-aligned as a movement traces its roots back to the thinking of Jawaharlal Nehru of India, Joseph Broz Tito of Yugoslavia and Gamal Abdel Nasser of Egypt, supported by Sukarno of Indonesia and Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana. The friendship and leadership of these five leaders gave birth to NAM. The first summit of NAM was held in Belgrade in 1961. The factors behind the formation of NAM was the cooperation among these countries. These were newly independent and they didn't want to depend on anyone else. So they tried to form an organization between all of them, which came to be known as the non-aligned movement. Then there was the growing Cold War tensions. The tensions between US and USSR were at its peak and nobody wanted to get involved between the two. Also, the entry of newly independent African nations into the international arena also fostered the growth of NAM. Over the years, NAM gave an out for all these countries, all the newly independent countries, to function in their independence and not be dependent on any of the two superpowers. Also, NAM was joined by countries of various political systems and interests as it grew gradually. It was neither isolationism, not being isolated is being aloof from world politics like US used to be after its war of independence up till the First World War. Neither is it neutrality. If you are neutral, you don't participate in anything related to whatever you are neutral to. But India and all the other nations which were participating in NAM also actively participated when it came to diffusing the tensions between the two superpowers. So, it can never be said that NAM advocated either isolationism or neutrality. The last summit of NAM was held in Baku in 2019. After NAM, we see a growth of new international economic order, also known as NEO. The majority of the non-aligned countries were categorized as least developed countries. They were facing some economic problems because they were newly independent. The economic development of these countries was vital for their independence. If they again became dependent on other powers, they would have lost their freedom again. So, this realization gave birth to NEO. At the United Nations Conference of Trade and Development, it came out with a report in 1972 which suggested some reforms for the least developed countries. In these reforms, we see first is providing control to the least developed countries over their natural resources. Generally, what happened was these natural resources were exploited by the Western countries and the least developed countries could not make good use of their own natural resources. Secondly, the reform suggested was to give access to these countries in the Western market because for them to grow in an economic way, they needed market for their products. So, the Western countries were asked to give them access. Third, the Western countries should reduce the cost of providing technology to LDCs. For fostering faster economic growth, these countries needed some technology transfer. If they received it at a very high price, they couldn't have been able to afford it. So Western countries were asked to provide technology to these countries on a lesser cost. Last, the LDCs should be given a major role in international organization. If they are not given representation in various international organizations, they won't be able to put forth their demands or what their needs are. So they should be given a major role in international organizations. After mid 1970s, the Neo initiative had started fading away, and from the 1980s it also faced stiff opposition from the developed countries who stood integrated against these non-aligned or newly independent countries, so it cannot become a major movement or a major organization. So this was all a little about the challenge to bipolarity. Lastly, we will discuss in brief a very little thing about India and the Cold War. Although we have already understood India's participation through NAM in the Cold War and its policy of not being tied down to any alliance, but let's get to it. So, India's policy during the Cold War was neither negative nor passive, meaning neither did it totally isolate itself from all the happenings around the world, nor did it get involved very actively in everything that was related to the Cold War. India participated actively when it came to diffusing the Cold War tensions. Like it wanted to mediate between the two. It sent its diplomats to diffuse tensions in various arenas of the world where the US and the USSR were competing. It also repeatedly tried to activate those organizations which were not a part of alliances. It tried to gain the confidence of all the newly independent countries who didn't want to be a part of any alliance and wanted to form an alliance with all those together, like the NAM. NAM served India at least in two ways. It served India in allowing it to take some international instances that served India's interest. It didn't need to take any decisions or stances which used to serve any other superpower's interests. Also, it also helped in being able to balance the two superpowers. No superpower between the two was able to bully India into going on its side. Now, India's policy was also criticized on 2 or 3 grounds. First was, it was called unprincipled because in major situations, India didn't take any firm stand because it said it was not on the side of any one side. Also, it was said that it took contradictory postures because in 1971, India signed a treaty of friendship with the USSR for 20 years. This was taken by many critics as an act of getting into an alliance with the USSR, although India maintains that it was only a treaty of friendship and nothing more than that. But India was criticized for few of these things. So with this, we have concluded what all happened during the Cold War. I hope you guys understood whatever I taught, and if you need any more chapters or topics, do leave a comment in the comment box below. And if you need notes for the chapter, please join my Telegram channel. It is in the link in the description box. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Do like it if you like it and share it and subscribe. Thank you.